Hello, American Dream.
Welcome to Hidden Bay.
Welcome to Tribeca.
Austin, Texas.
Montreal, Colorado.
Welcome to Crown Heights.
In Bridgeland.
In Seattle.
Celebration, Florida.
San Antonio Riverwalk.
Tempe, Arizona.
Sunny Isles Beach.
Washington, D.C.
Pike and Rose.
Mason, Ohio. I'm in Louisiana.
This is my American dream.
We do it in the spirit of going against the grain of the negative media, giving inspiring information, and having people walk away from our show with something of value.
You're seeing a disruption in both the real estate and the mortgage space.
A lot of people are just not willing to put in the work.
What video does is that it demands an emotional response.
You know what I love about the show? It's totally unscripted.
Oh, it's been one heck of a year launching the American Dream, and now 28 cities all across the country. It has been so fun, an incredible journey where in every city we are highlighting the best of real estate and lifestyle. We've put it all together for you here today, where we've grabbed some of our best segments from this past year to share with you, starting with a donut shop. We visited America's finest city where this show started. Seth takes us around downtown and shows off a cool listing. Let's go check it out right now.
What I love most about San Diego is the pace. People move here because they know that life is short. You gotta live it in a place that recognizes that. You know, I would always joke I can go from business suit to wetsuit in 15 minutes on a Friday afternoon. I think I've got it beat. I've got it down to about 12 minutes now. That's what living in San Diego is about. Today I'm going to take you guys to a property that we just put on the market in Sapphire Tower. This condo is probably one of the best properties, one of the best views in all of San Diego. On the way, we're going to pick something up special for the sellers. We're going to go to Donut Bar. Actually, it's here right now. Let's get some donuts. Could I get some creme brulee and then a Boston cream and a chocolate euphoria? I was gonna have a beer, but I think it's too early.
It's not too early, sir. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Thanks. When you're in downtown San Diego, you might walk right by it and think it's nothing, but the Donut Bar has been on USA Today, it's been on the Thrillist, it's been on TripAdvisor. This is probably one of the hottest donut bars in America, and we got it in our backyard. This penthouse listing is actually really personal to me because not only do we have a listing on one of the most expensive penthouses downtown San Diego, I was working on this project when I was 19 years old as an intern for the builder. So to come around 16 years later and have a listing of this caliber is something that really means a lot to us. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 3,000 square feet, but you're not just buying it because of the stats, you're buying it because of the materials, you're buying it because of the Sub-Zero commercial wine fridge, the Miele, the Wolf. All these materials are absolute top of the line, and for an affluent penthouse buyer, they're the units, materials that you would really want. The reason I would buy this property is this room right here. One of my favorite rooms in the penthouse is the master bedroom. It's got floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall windows. It overlooks over $2 trillion in downtown penthouse living. You can see out of this window to Mexico. You can see Coronado Islands in the San Diego Bay. I like to joke that this is a 50 Shades of Grey style penthouse. And I like to think that Christian Grey himself would love this one feature that he has right here. And this is a hidden staircase, in case you have guests that need to leave in a hurry. You know, the reality is for $3 million you could buy a lot of house, right? But you can't replicate this view. You know, that beach across the street, that's a white sand beach I surfed out this morning. For a local San Diegan, you know you're looking at basically the best of our city all in one shot. So as great as the inside of this property is, you realize that it takes all of it to make it one of the best properties in San Diego.
All right, and cut. Good job, guys.
We're done?
We're done.
You want a donut?
Yeah.
From donut shops to Denver. Denver is actually the second city that we launched the American Dream. I'd never been there a couple years ago. Now, having visited, I've learned it's one of the sunniest cities in the entire country. It's absolutely beautiful. So today, we're going to take you through Sam Wilson's neighborhoods that he sells real estate. We're going to explore some cool restaurants and some different types of homes out of the Mile High City. You're going to love this. Let's check it out right now.
Hi, Sam Wilson, Wilson Group Real Estate, and today it's a beautiful fall day here in Lakewood, Colorado. I'm going to take you around to some of my favorite restaurants and neighborhoods today. So come on along, here we go. All right, guys, this is our first stop today. This is my favorite Mexican restaurant in Lakewood. It's right down the street from my office too, so it's really easy to walk to. And one of the things that I really love about it is that it is locally owned, just like my business. And speaking of locally owned, it's also family owned. I'd like to introduce you to the Sandoval family here, the owners of Las Fuentes. And make sure you guys come stop in. Such a great restaurant, great service, and great people. My wife and I come here all the time. So this is Green Mountain, and it's just some beautiful houses, a beautiful neighborhood. Great recreation nearby. There's Green Mountain High School just off of Alameda there, and these homes are affordable, you know, anywhere from $350 to $500. Sure, there's condos that go all the way down into the high 100s, and then there's some luxury homes in a neighborhood right near here called Solterra, where you can get $1 million plus, $2 million home even. So it's one of my favorite neighborhoods, and you know, it's right where my office is too. So, you know, I'd be happy to chat with you. Just give me a shout and we'll take a ride around. Heading to our next stop now. Really cool place, iconic location right on Colfax Boulevard. It's called Davy's Chuck Wagon Diner. It's got some great history to it too. So there's a really cool neighborhood over there as well. We'll take you for a ride through that neighborhood after we meet the folks at Davy's. All right, so here we are. We made it over to Davy's Chuck Wagon Diner, and this is my friend, Dwayne Clark. Dwayne, thanks for letting me stop by today. Say a few words.
Glad to stop by. Nice to see you again.
Terrific. So as I understand it, you've owned Davy's for 35 years now, and that you actually brought the diner here, had it shipped here from New Jersey, and put it on its original foundation from there.
Yeah, the original owner was Lyman Davies. He did that in 1957.
Nice, nice, very cool. Well, a couple of things I love about Davy's. One, iconic location right here on Colfax. But let me say a couple of things about the food here. It's terrific diner food, and they're open at 4:30 in the morning. So what I like to say, Dwayne, is that you can stop by on your way to work, or if you're on your way home from the night before. It's a great place to get some food. Have a bite at Davy's, say hi to Dwayne and his great staff in there, and enjoy the food. We just left Davy's, and walking distance is a neighborhood known as the Glens. It's actually called Heverly Heights, but this is just north of Colfax, and some of the most spectacular lots and homes. Has almost a little bit of a New England feel to it, if you see what I mean. And the homes here range from about high 300s all the way up to about $1.3 million. And there's even a lot for sale that's available to build on for just $175,000. Really cool neighborhood that most people don't know about. I love helping buyers and sellers in the Glens, so if you guys have any questions, you can always track me down and talk about it. We'll take a ride over there and stop in at Davy's and have some steak and eggs too. It smells absolutely delicious and amazing here. I'm out in front of a Brewski's restaurant in the Applewood neighborhood in the Lakewood part of it. Great restaurant, a couple of interesting facts about it. One is that it's a no-tipping restaurant. You may have heard of that. This is the one in Lakewood. It's a place to go. And they have a gluten-free menu, but it's not like any other. Everything's cooked separately. Everything that's gluten-free is cooked separately in different equipment inside the restaurant. So I highly recommend the Brewski's and the Applewood neighborhood. Here in Applewood, we'll take you on a little tour of it, but we've got homes in Applewood from about $300,000 all the way up over $1 million. So please stop by a Brewski's and check out the great food here. All right, so just walking distance from Abruzzi's is Applewood. We're in the Lakewood portion of Applewood, which actually covers 3 cities. Got Applewood and Lakewood, Wheat Ridge and Golden, but what a great neighborhood. You can see you can even get waterfront property here on Maple Grove Reservoir, but it's an awesome place, affordable housing, terrific for you and the family. All right, so I'm real excited now to take us to the next stop. We're headed toward like Southwest Lakewood, and we're going to another one of my favorite spots, which is Cafe Giordano. And then we'll take you on a little tour of the real estate and the neighborhood right around there. I'm so happy to be here at Cafe Giordano with Elisa Heitman, the owner. Elisa, thanks for having us in today. I greatly appreciate it. One of the best restaurants in all of Lakewood, and Elisa has been here for 28 years, and interestingly, named the restaurant after her son, Jordan. She was just telling me about some of the new menu items like the rigatoni. Come on in, check out the newly updated place and all the great food here. I hope you enjoyed the little visit to Cafe Giordano as much as I did. Elisa's such a sweetheart. The food is awesome. And we're right here behind it in Heritage West. A terrific neighborhood, great for the family, and homes in the upper hundreds of thousands, about 850, 900,000. Great places, awesome views down at the end of this street. You gotta come check this out. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that day as much as I did. Took you around to some of the great Lakewood eats and some of the great Lakewood neighborhoods. Have a great day.
The national story of the American dream would not be possible if we didn't have local experts featured to showcase why their city is so incredible. Now we're gonna go check out a segment from your own backyard.
Well, now we're joined by Nina Bhanot. She is a top 20 RE/MAX realtor in Texas with RE/MAX Premier Group. Nina, great to see you again.
It's great to be back.
So Nina, today we're going to talk a little bit about what happens after the offer gets accepted. I think people know how to prepare. They go through all of the turmoil of purchasing a home, putting an offer in, and then it gets accepted. What's the next step?
So I think once it gets accepted, then like the fun part actually starts. So then you go into an option period. So an option period can be anywhere from 5 to 7 to 10 days. In our market, we usually see 7 days. In really maybe multiple competitive offers, you see 5 days. And so what an option period is the seller is taking their house off the market for a period of time to allow the buyer to do their inspections, all their due diligence, and really decide if they're going to go forward with purchasing the house. And for this option period, you usually will pay an option fee. The buyer will pay an option fee to the seller. Again, it's usually between $100 to $500, depending on how competitive the buyer wants to get. But during those 7 days of the option period, we want to negotiate any repairs between buyer and seller, get them all agreed to and signed off. And during that option period, the buyer can back out for any reason, but the majority of times the buyer and seller are able to work it out and you get through your option period. So that would be the first stage.
So once you get through that option period, then what?
So then if a buyer is going to do financing, then the appraisal is going to be ordered. So the appraisal is usually around $500, and the lender is going to send an appraiser out because they want to make sure the house is actually worth what the buyer is offering to pay for it. A lot of times the appraisal will come in at value or a little bit above value. And if it comes below value, then the buyer and seller will go through another renegotiation process and try to agree on price. If you're going to do a cash deal, you don't need to do an appraisal. But sometimes a buyer might want to do one just to try to find out, what is the appraised value of the home.
So if an appraisal does come in at value or actually above value, what does that mean for the home seller and what does that mean for the buyer?
So for the home seller, it just means the deal's going to go through. There's really, nothing on their part. For the buyer, when it comes in at value or above value, that's a good thing, especially if it comes up above value, because then it's like they have a little bit of built-in equity in the house. So they may be paying $400,000 for the house. The appraisal may come in at $410,000, so they just got a little bit of a deal on the house. They got it for less than the appraisal value.
How do you walk your clients through this process? There's so many variables that can really change the scenario.
When you're talking about the appraisal, I think that you're kind of looking at what the market is doing, what the comps are in the neighborhood, and you kind of prep them and tell them that it looks like the property will appraise. The only time where there may be a situation where it may not appraise is if you have a multiple offer situation and the buyer has chosen to offer more money and then really kind of escalated the purchase price. So you try to get them prepped for the different scenarios that can happen, and when they do come up, walk them through the different options that can happen.
And then the last step, the closing.
So yes, so we'll have the closing, which is the best day in the process. But prior to the closing, one other thing that we would do is called a final walkthrough. So a final walkthrough happens about a day or two before the closing, and you're just going to see the home is in the same condition it was when we first put the contract on it, and also visually if there's any repairs we check them at that time. But a walkthrough is important because I can tell you a story where me and a client went through a walkthrough, and when the sellers were moving, the washing machine wasn't disconnected properly, so the whole first floor had flooded. So we had to really work through that. And once a buyer closes on the house, everything becomes their responsibility. So it's important to do that walkthrough just to make sure there's no issues with the house. And then once we've done that, we hit the best day in the process, which is the closing day. So that's when the buyer and seller go to the title company, they sign all the documents. Once the loan gets funded, they can go pick up the keys, and then you have your exciting moving day and get to move into the house.
Nina, that's when I think you pop the champagne bottle.
Exactly.
Well, Nina, great advice today as always. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more of the show.
All right, on the American Dream, we love supporting our vets, and we love Las Vegas. And today, we're going to marry both together. Falisha Rexford, Air Force veteran, now top producing realtor, is going to show us an amazing model home in a beautiful community called Red Rock Canyon. Let's go check it out right now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Falisha Rexford. I'm a mommy, I'm a wife, I'm an Air Force veteran, and I'm your Vegas realtor. So what do you think of when you think of Las Vegas? Chances are you're thinking about the Strip, Fremont Street, but the things that people don't realize, Vegas has so much more to offer. This is also Las Vegas. Today I want to show you these beautiful homes located at the base of Red Rock. This guard-gated community is called Reverence, brought to you by Pulte. So let's go check out the Paseo. This is the model version. It's beautiful. This home has everything that you would need, small or large family. One of my favorite things with semi-custom builds are the fact that you get to put all of your own touches on these homes. Let's go check out the upstairs. I really want to show you this master bedroom. So here's the master bedroom. Absolutely beautiful. A lot of people are concerned about going up and down stairs to get things like coffee or drinks. This house has the option of a little mini bar. So you can roll out of bed, grab a coffee, sit down, and enjoy that view. Sometimes we walk into model homes and I think people get really nervous about the design and how they're never gonna accomplish that. Check out the difference between this little girl's room. It's really just a cute accent wall with some nice lighting. And then check out this really fun room over here. So cute. I want to be a kid in this room. My clients keep telling me how much they love the location. You have direct access to all these trails out here. You can literally walk out your back door and climb to the top of a mountain. So one of the reasons why I started you at Red Rock Canyon today and then brought you here is to show you this scenery. Look at what Pulte has done with literally carving out spaces in the mountain for these home sites. Absolutely beautiful. Las Vegas is full of opportunity. I was originally stationed here at Nellis Air Force Base. We have two major Air Force bases here, Nellis and Creech. I served over 13 years with active military and as a contractor. After my time with the military, I decided to do real estate and am now proudly serving those who serve. I ask you to come and not only tour Las Vegas, but look at the opportunity that Las Vegas presents. Come and check us out. Come and stay.
The national story of the American dream would not be possible if we didn't have local experts featured to showcase why their city is so incredible. Now we're going to go check out a segment from your own backyard.
And joining us now from your Dallas market is James Sharp. He is the owner and realtor of the Sharp Real Estate Group. James, great to see you again.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
So James, today we're talking about something incredibly important. This is such an exciting idea that you've developed. It's called Sharp Shoes. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what it's all about?
Thanks for that segue. It started actually last month. We were getting the family together around Thanksgiving, and my son Tucker, he's a very insightful guy. He's like, hey, Dad, what would make this the best Christmas ever? What would be your Christmas wish? And I said, my gosh, that's good. That's a good question. Can I get back to you? And I started thinking, and I said, you know what? Back when I was 6 years old, somebody gave me a pair of shoes at Christmas time, and it made all the difference. In fact, that was the only pair I got that year, and I wore those things out. I said, to me, to make this the best Christmas ever is to make sure every boy and girl that wanted a pair of shoes come Christmas morning would have that happen. And that'd be my Christmas wish. Thus, Sharp Shoes kind of was born.
Sharp Shoes was born, and then you went on a huge media campaign. It's all over your social media, and you started by originally doing kind of a fun idea to get people involved and to get people interested, and it was called 12 Days of Shoes. Tell me a little bit about
12
that.
Days of Shoes, absolutely. Instead of the 12 Days of Christmas, we got the 12 Days of Shoes. And actually, I brought on the show today the pair that started it all. This, if you could zoom in on a little bit, there is the actual pair that I affectionately called the one that started it all. That pair was worn by me this summer, and every time I was wearing it, I felt like $1 million to wear them for sure. But I got this like, wow, these are great pairs of shoes. Oh my gosh, where'd you get them and stuff? And it kind of created this awareness. So fast forward, I'm thinking, this is December. What happens around December? A lot of people are thinking, how can I give back? What is kind of a clever way to tie in? And I said, aha, I'll do the 12 Days of Shoes, because I'm a shoe lover. Now, all these years later, I could buy, multiple pairs of shoes. So in my book, I've bought some fun, fabulous shoes. Let me have my Instagram and Facebook followers, social media, kind of take a sneak peek in my closet and kind of build this up as a platform for awareness.
Sure.
And thus the 12 Days of Shoes got.
And you did. You did. You got people involved. You actually got people voting on which shoes they liked best as well, which I love. But now over hundreds of pairs, I should say, of new and gently used shoes have been donated, brought into your offices. Thousands of dollars have been donated, but you still need more. The list is long for the children who need shoes.
Absolutely, and this is one of the most sobering things is I'm getting, because of social media, and this is getting its own movement, people are reaching out from different local charities in our Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And what is the common thread through every single call, every conversation I've had from every director is we do not get shoes donated at this time of year. We get lots of clothes, we get lots of toys, we get blankets and food, which is all wonderful. We just don't get shoes. And I was like, wow. And this is something I've heard time and time again. So we're working with local groups like homeless shelters, battered women's shelters, transition houses for kids where they're pulled out of bad situations, child protective, and they don't have the foster family just yet. They still need Christmas, guys. They still need pairs of shoes and actually socks to go with it. So we've collected a lot of interest there from folks that say, how can I help? And I said, well, if you're local, you can drop by a pair of shoes that you either bought, or hey, you have one in the closet, you haven't worn, that maybe it's got, you know, too small, too big, what have you. Or if you got some that, hey, I've only worn them a handful of times, just drop those off. Or if you can't get to Plano, can't get to our Dallas drop-off locations, do us a favor, just go to our website. It's shopshoes.org, and you can donate online, and it would go. For every $20, that goes to buy a pair of shoes. So you get a $100 donation, we can actually impact and get 5 pairs of shoes for 5 very needed kids.
Oh, so fantastic. Such a worthy cause. James, thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for letting us be a part of this, and I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, James. And be sure to stick around. We'll be right back with more of the show.
Let's talk about 2 dirty words: mortgage, insurance. Everybody thinks they don't want it, but I got to tell you, it's actually a good thing. It's the only reason you don't have to put 20% down when you buy a home. Homeowners insurance you're all familiar with. That insures you in case something happens to your property or you on your property. But mortgage insurance insures the lender in case you don't make your payment. When you put 20% down, that's a risk. So the mortgage insurance company insures the lender from the less than 20% down to your down payment. So if you put 5% down, they're insuring the lender for 15% of that mortgage. It keeps more money in your pocket so you can get the home that you want now instead of having to wait. There is one other option. If you don't want to pay mortgage insurance, you can split your loan up into 2 loans, and then you don't have to pay mortgage insurance. You should look at that as an option to see which one gets you the lower payment. And always remember, mortgage insurance lasts for 2 years in a high appreciating market. So if you put 5 or 10% down, check back with your lender in 2 or 3 years. You may not even have to refinance to get that mortgage insurance removed. Thanks for watching. That's your Mortgage Minute today. Tune in next week where we'll give you more helpful tips to keep more money in your pocket as you go towards the American dream.
In traveling the country, meeting with the brightest minds in real estate, it's tough to have a favorite one, but man, this guy is one of them. Brian K. Lewis, top producer out of New York City, is going to take us around Manhattan West Village, show us one of his listings, and share a few secrets with you. Let's check it out.
West Village, coolest neighborhood in Manhattan? Maybe. Brian Lewis, coolest real estate agent in Manhattan? Maybe. Brian's going to show us around the real estate here, take us around the neighborhood, show us why it's so sought after by young and hip people. So let's see what he's got to show us. He's down by the waterfront. We're going to go check him out.
Asking me to pick my favorite neighborhood in New York City is like asking me to pick my favorite child. It's tough. But I will tell you, I have a very sweet spot in my heart for the West Village. Why? I love the history. Love the old Mariner history. I love the old Bohemian history, the music, the art, the actors, the political movements, all that happened right here on this waterfront. Now this has all been recreated. This is a brand new park, relatively speaking, and when you add a green belt in New York, you add green to a neighborhood. And along this highway and this river, you've got a series of buildings, all luxury and all demanding very, very expensive prices. But you're still sandwiched between the Meat District, Tribeca, downtown, uptown. You've got it all right here. And you've got sweet cobblestone streets. You've got the Whitney Museum. Downtown has just come alive. One of my favorite little stories about the West Village is that hotel right there, the Jane Hotel, the red brick one. That is the old Cunard Line Hotel. It's where they brought the survivors of the Titanic, which is haunting and chilling and somewhat beautiful all at once. That's the Village. It's got history, it's got guts and glory and beauty. Over here, the Whitney Museum. Talk about beauty. That used to be an old meat locker. That building that's yellow, that is now luxury rentals. I used to live there. And this building right here, the Superior Inc. building, is where I'm going to take you. Robert A.M. Stern designed it. It's fantastic, and I can't wait to show it to you. So if you want to be at the perfect level, in the perfect neighborhood, West Village, come on. This is the coveted corner. This is what people want at the Superior Inc. building on the Hudson River Park. Look at the windows, all the way around, all river, all park. So you've got The open kitchen, easy for entertaining and always sensitive to that view, because when you live in a place like this, you want that view in your eyes all day long. This is another great design idea. I love it because the third bedroom here, set up like a den, also gets that great iconic river view. This is super smart because if you do want it as a bedroom, you can do this. Sweet. Pass-through kitchen, got your wine cooler, you've got 6-burner stove, dual ovens, all good. But I gotta tell you, my favorite room in this condo is right here. This is the master bedroom. 2 huge closets, big ol' ensuite bath, and this amazing bedroom. This is a master suite and pin drop quiet. The seller has something very cool here. These are called city windows. That's the main window. This is an added window. This is the 3rd bedroom suite with its own bath, just like the other 3 bedrooms in this home. And you have a garden view. Quiet, gorgeous. I think your guests will be very happy here. Maybe a little too happy. That view everywhere. I love this. I could sit here all day, and I think I will. This is my American dream.
So I hope you enjoyed today's best of 2018 from the American Dream. But I got to tell you, 2019, we got so much we're excited to share with you. We're going to be traveling the entire country, finding the best stories out of every city, highlighting real estate and lifestyle. It's going to be a great year. Thank you so much for following the show. And of course, and as always, cheers to your American Dream.